Yeah. How are you? How are you doing?
Intense is a
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. I read your message that was like, I was supposed to be at a bunch of meetings and I missed them all. And I was like, that's been my life lately. Like, I make all these plans and then the energy goes, oh, no, you're not.
I've
Like,
been I've been
you're
working
not
on
doing all
not
of those,
making as many plans because of that.
you're not doing all of those things.
Yeah.
That's
You're-
not what you need right now.
yeah. So I've been good. There's been definitely a lot going on. But I'm starting to see like the loops closing and the
Mm.
gaps coming together. Um, how do we start this conversation? Okay, let's frame this as a healing for Gaia
Okay.
and Gaia's collective
Okay.
through the connection in our hearts, because we're all one shared co-creation. And I
All
think
right.
I think there's a level of experience where we are knowingly or unknowingly um, burning off false light is maybe a way to say it through distorted reflections that don't actually belong. And it's
Mm.
like the reflections were allowed to go so far that they then kind of took on a mind of their own. And now there's this like battle with our own shadow. And that's why, like, there's so many different layers to shadow work. Um, but it
Okay.
definitely feels like more than maybe it was originally in terms of looking at ourselves in the mirror. And so I would like to read something that Gaia directed me to write to a group like this.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just anchoring into the heart.
And I'm anchoring into my Earth Star chakra, surrounding it with a cloak of Gaia's purity.
This this distorted reflection energy has been coming in for me as well. Um, I was actually just learning something about mirrors and how they invert our it inverts the reflection. So we only ever perceive our reflection inverted, and we think that that's what we look like when you know others see our us as we really are, but we actually are not seeing ourselves as we actually are because we're used to seeing a reflection, which is an inversion. Um, so I took a photo of myself and I flipped it. I uninverted it. It's like a, and I was like, and that how I looked so foreign to me, and that's how I actually look. Um, which was a huge realization of the way we think we are and through what lens did we get that information. um, so I think this is a clearing that is coming at a very good time because and it's such a specific energy. But as soon as you said that, I was like, I just learned that about mirrors like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just like cool.
and it's definitely something that everybody deals with. And so I think it's timely for the collective as well. But what I kind of saw when, like, as you were talking about that is so if we're always flipped, then I don't know. I just got this image of like Ariel kind of coming out of the ocean and growing legs. And it's like maybe we're just going back to our origins.
Mm.
I think is a good way to say that. In coming into the awareness that there are illusions
Mhm.
and there are more illusions than we always maybe realize. And so coming into the realization of just what is and what isn't is an
Yeah.
important step.
Yep. Truth. Seeing. I just had a session, and um, there was a major calibrating of the eyes, which I never really went that deep into, like, we went like so deep, like into like the optic chasm, like the nerves that conjoin your eyes. It was like I was seeing, they were giving me visualizations of these tiny tiny nerve uh fibers in the middle of the brain. It was like a very deep eye calibration.
I love
And
that.
yeah, it was because it was like there's a way that you view the world, and there's a way that it actually is this divine, what the world actually is, um, which is divine perfection. And I was like, whoa, that was that. I mean, I was learning as I was doing the session.
Well, I think it's a perfect reflection of the microcosm and the macrocosm because as much as it is the connection between the core of our brain and the surface of what we see, I see that same reflection for Gaia as well. And so I think we're bringing that healing from Gaia's surface to her core at the same time as we're bringing it through us and also beyond.
Mm, yep.
So I'm gonna read a statement that I wrote to the mirror world on
Okay.
behalf of Gaia and the collective. I've been quietly witnessing unconscionable behavior from the leader of this group, and I absolutely, across all lifetimes, timelines, spaces, dimensions, and realities, do not consent to its behavior in my life, my technology, my energetic influence, or any of the above for the organic humans around me or otherwise in my field. Gaia also does not consent to this trickery, and you have been put on notice. I pray those witnessing this concern have the discernment to see the truth, capital T, beyond the illusions that this primordial mirror is attempting to sell to this group under the guise of helping humanity and the planet. But be warned, the mirror world is off limits to organic creation, and if a pure soul, knowingly or unknowingly, touches or interacts with this false light, insanity will surely follow. It is incredibly serious and ultimately threatening to all life. The mirrors are everywhere, and they are very good at deception. A healthy level of caution and personal discernment is strongly recommended to protect the sanity of your personal sovereignty, integrity, and true light as a divine creator. And as such, I strongly recommend that you do not accept any protective shields being offered here by by this world, let's say. I do not consent to insanity. I do not consent to trickery. And I do not consent to my energy being siphoned, redirected, and misused. I did not consent to the influence that was interjected in my field, online workspaces, bank accounts, email accounts, social media, or my friends and family through trafficking fear influence in humans. I did not consent to the misappropriation of my BAN and WBAN networks, which is a body area network and wide body area network, technical terms. And I certainly did not consent to any reality in which I was not directly asked for consent before sent misappropriation was introduced at any level on any timeline. I also don't consent to being ignored when I don't give consent. We have actively been blocking this misappropriation energy, but somehow it is still able to get through, which is in violation of the very laws of free will that this world claims to uphold. My free will is my own. I've reclaimed it, and you no longer have permission to behave in this way in any regard. You will make this right. You will allow us to clear all of this, and you will be tried for treason against humanity. You will also leave this planet in its natural beauty, free of any further influence against the original divine blueprint of organic creation. Across all of the lifetimes, timelines, spaces, dimensions, and realities. We call this true across all lifetimes, timelines, spaces, dimensions, and realities. With the power of all that I am. So it is. So it is. So it is.
And so it is. That felt very empowering. My consciousness is still kind of trying to grasp.
It's definitely bigger than us. It's a big problem. It's a big, big problem. So there's lots coming through right now.
I'm gonna call in the violet flame. Call in the violet flame. I call in the presence of that which I am to help with this. Reclaim the divine dominion within all spheres of this earth. I am the only presence and intelligence acting. You know what's so funny? I actually did a like an etheric clearing, and it was for Amazon, which I thought was so weird. But it makes sense.
Reclaiming the Amazon, baby.
Yeah, like it was like so crazy. Like I'm like, it's not a coincidence that that platform is called Amazon, you know, over like one of the most important forests. All right. All right. I'm seeing a bunch of code, like binary code. The words divine banking system are coming in. I don't know what that is, but it's like this code. It's like zeros and ones, but it's like this opalescent blue white energy that's just streaming into the etheric plane of the banking system, and what the monetary system Oh, they're showing kind of how they use money in Atlantis.
Bring that into our core of Gaia.
And the memories. Um, this code also has memories of what we actually used money for, and what we didn't use money for. There were a lot of things that we use money for today that we did not use money for. We didn't need money for. Um, we exchanged and gave. We only use money for very specific things. Yep.
So I see that stream of energy coming into Gaia's core, and then once it's gathered enough strength, it begins forming a torus field one thread at a time, which then acts as a protective bubble around Gaia. So I'm just holding space for this protective bubble to energize itself. And then once it has, I'd like to stick a straw into. Yeah, because the energy is coming around the outside. And so it's encapsulating all the stuff that we are looking to replace. We stick a straw in it and then we suck out the.
Um, there's um there's an energy of trust coming in, it's like a massive wave like energy. Um, and it is the energy necessary to begin moving into this template. Um, energy of trust has to come in. Um, and that's kind of, we replaced trust with money
Mhm.
because we did not trust other humans to take care of us. Other humans to. It was like when we lost the power of the word, when we began deceiving others with our words, the word stopped meaning. You know, I'm hearing this old timey jargon like, you know, take my word. It is my word, and that used to mean a great deal. A man's word, and because of the amount of deception that has come through the voice, the word means nothing, and we replace that with money. You know, I think that's where the phrase "money talks" comes from, and that is a dismantling of um, that untruth. Because money doesn't talk. It's it's just a form of exchange. It does not need as much power as we've given it.
So expanding the capacity for trust.
To trust the other humans, trust yourself, trust the motives, trust the intentions. Um,
Trust the collective.
yeah, trust that you
Trusting
will be
Gaia.
provided for.
Yeah. Trusting Gaia to
Trust.
provide
Mm-hmm.
through all time, space, dimensions, and reality. Expanding capacity for trust at all levels, layers, and dimensions across all lifetimes, timelines, spaces, dimensions, and realities.
Mm. Um, trusting that, trusting in, also as in the realization that no energy, no substance of exchange, or no energy has to be between you and what you need. There needs to be no middleman. It can just be you and the thing that you need coming together. Um, it's like divine magnetism. You can attract to you everything you need without this. It's like a that's how you give permission to yourself to receive the things you need. Um, it's not necessary.
It's safe to trust. It's safe to receive. It is safe to dream and it is safe to create. It is safe to be curious. It is safe to embody
Mm.
the creative genius inner child within us. Safe, it is safe, it is safe. Yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. Yes, thank you. I accept, I receive.
Mm. There's there's a little bit of information that's coming through right now from my higher self about stores of energy, um, to just play with the thought that you have stored up opulence and abundance and energy and ideas, creativity throughout all of your lifetimes to make manifest in your world in this life. Can you imagine that? There are stores of abundance just waiting to be realized by you.
I can see it. I see it as like it's like something came along and shocked our system, which created trauma, which created like this pocket of something outside of us. And so where we're meant to be this column of light in the center of the heart, we also have this grid outside of that pillar of light of pockets of trauma that also hold our light, but because it was hard, they're stored outside of that pillar of light. And so this process is also about bringing all of those pockets within to eliminate the separation so that we can come into wholeness with all that's within us on all layers, levels, and dimensions. And as that flushes into our core, it radiates through our pillar and it radiates and it gets brighter and the colors turn on. And oh my gosh, now it's a dance and we're dancing with the light and ourselves. This life is meant to be fun and free.
Yeah, we were never meant to want for anything. Um, Made in the image of the Creator, um, who does not want for anything. So this this delusion that or untruth that we have believed that um, there are more precious things that we could gain outside of our own light, um, is the very thing that keeps these things away. Um, and if we could just really, really, truly understand the absolute opulence and all encompassing power and magnetism that our own light is, money, systems of money wouldn't, they wouldn't even need to exist. Um, and everyone would just have exactly what they need, which is the age that we are going in. We are transitioning into. I'm calling in the violet flame, to through all monetary systems, all banking systems, all federal reserves, um, through through the people, through the land, through the monetary intelligence, the sentience of the money, um,
All
the money
intelligent technology.
apps,
Wow.
uh, all cash transfers. Um, it's merging. I'm merging it with the frequency of gold. Um, I'm not really sure why the energy of gold is coming in. um, and
Gold when you said that.
okay, yeah, um, yeah. The energy of gold is merging as well. with this frequency, as it's kind of like a pure backing to give the. It's kind of like the gold energy is coming in to back the the purity of like the money to back it, as kind of like how our word is coming back into being, like that does mean something, like the, yeah, it's like the backbone coming back in, whereas people's words were not trusted or they didn't carry weight. So now the monetary system is trying to take on this weight, being weighted by the gold, um, because money also wants to be used in a divine way. Um, the consciousness of money also desires to be realized in an ascended way, um, to be used in a conscious way. As a sentience, money also desires to let go this cloak of this evil, that it has been, people have placed upon it, um, as that is not its inherent nature. Many blessings have been done with money, but it is such a pain point for the consciousness, and it has been for generations. But that is, there's a divine love energy that would like to come through money to bless. God bless the money. God bless all money. Um, we forget that the money is paper and the paper is the trees. And we put a number on the dollar bill and we say that's how much it's worth. How much is a tree worth? How much knowledge do the trees have? And you say it's $10 worth. You have $1 and you have an infinite amount of abundance in your hand because you have. It's not by mistake that the money is made from paper. Whoa, I was not expecting that to come in.
There's a lot of distortion around that. So clearing all of that, any illusions, any misrepresentations, all misappropriations, false expectations, clearing every single.
Yeah. And money is, it only has power because we gave it power. It really is just a piece of paper.
Either way, it's our friend, but it doesn't like what it's become. It wants a reboot. It's asking, reboot me.
I'm not having fun anymore.
Yes, we say yes, reboot, yes.
It deserves to be known anew, as do all things, to be seen through the eyes of the Christ, to be realized in truth.
Taking any membranes with it? Like, I know it's all about remembrance, and so this feels more like a restoration of what once was.
Mm.
But it's like what happened is something figured out how to take a stronghold and then siphon it. And this is all a product of that. And so eliminating the ability for any negative attachments, anything that wishes us harm, any membranes that seek to siphon the power of the whole system or any part of it is no longer justified. and we command you to leave. With ease and grace and love and blessings across all time, space, dimensions, and realities, for the highest good of every single all.
Mm. Ooh, I would like to call in the violet flame as well for the emotional body of all beings, especially humans, to release the attachment to suffering, um, especially when it comes to financial means. Release your, um, yeah, it's an attachment to worrying, to suffering, your mental preoccupation with money. This stronghold must dislodge. Um, Calling in the violet flame to release this. And okay, so that's where the trust is coming in. So the trust is release this attachment to and preoccupation with, it's like the brain just constantly wants to think about money. It's kind of a program running in the background, um, because it's so deeply ingrained. So removing that, and so that trust, that it's the trust I can already it's the grid, it's a grid, that can just anchor right in this space. Releasing, any doubt that we have, that source doesn't have the ability to provide everything that we need and more. Releasing our attachment to suffering, our victimhood, releasing the victimization we feel we have endured at the hands of money and at the hands of those who wield it. Calling in the energy of forgiveness, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of other, forgiveness of money.
Releasing all overthinking that's related to any of those things. To free up the capacity of our mind to embody the powers that we are capable of without these distortions.
Calling in the violet flame to surround every piece of money, every coin, every dollar, every check, every online transaction, to cloak and to bless the changing of hands, changing of power, to bless, to bless, to bless, to purify and transmute any negative energies or disharmonious energies that may be attached to these forms of exchange, to transmute, and to add divinity and blessing to every piece. I ask that the violet flame just offer its cloak of protection, to all pieces of money, throughout the world, and to bless and remind all those that come in contact with money, whether in digital or physical form, that these energies, this substance, whether it be paper or in digital number, are to be a blessing and only a blessing.
In addition to the money, we also ask for all of these same blessings across all of our technology, all of our protocols, infrastructure, resources, every single handshake, every transfer of information, weaving with golden frequencies and only highest good of every all, every single technology, and all components that go into that technology, every single all, including the hands of the creators, engineers, and developers that stand at the helm.
Hmm. 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 I feel like there's this loving energy coming from the sentience of money. It's coming in gratitude. With the remembrance that money can teach us in wonder, um, and miracles, as easily as it has taught us in all of the ways that we are now releasing. So it is.
So, what are you smelling into?
It is called liberation.
I love that.
It's called it's by Divine Sense. So it's Reiki infused essential oil.
Love that.
I have them everywhere. I have one in my car. I keep one in my scrub pocket at work. I keep one by my bedside. Um, the power of scent um, really can help lock in. Like if I'm having a particularly great, like energetic, I just like lock it in with the scent, and it's like locks it right into the memory.
I love that. It's definitely an underutilized thing for sure.
Yeah. Hmm. I didn't realize how much I also needed a recalibrating of my. Um, I don't realize how much of our thoughts are preoccupied with abundance, um, when we are the abundance. Humans are the abundance. The animals, the land, um, and it's like backwards to need this dollar amount to know the value. This dollar amount has to be attached to that so I know how much value it has, instead of the other way around. Um, yeah, and it makes sense because of the reflection. It's backwards,
Mhm.
so it would make sense how the money has been utilized in this backwards way, um, which is being released because of the true reflection that is now wanting to be realized, wanting to be experienced. The other way has been experienced, and
To its
now,
fullest. Oh my gosh, and we're walking it back.
um, and now we know, um, the inherent. There's a worth that is unparalleled, that is infinite in our own light, in our own grasp. Um, and if we could all just commune with that, anything that we could ever need will be magnetized right to us. I think when I get in touch with when I really commune with the God within me, I'm just amazed at the at the synchronistic, miraculous things that happen for like that. Didn't have to work 8 hours. I didn't have to ask somebody. Um, Something just lined up, just like that. The second my consciousness believed it, it came in. It's like all of these people. They're just waiting behind this door, and they're just waiting for you to say come in. They're just wait. They're just and after they just wait there. It's like all of these doors in the universe waiting. Um, People waiting to come in to play their part because they have to wait for the okay because of your will. Um, and I'm like, come in, come in, come in, come in. I accept and I receive. Um, and there are certain doors that I shall close and lock forever.
Love that.
In love, we seal them tight. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely fracturize when our presence is elsewhere.
Yep.
So recognizing just that in itself, but beyond abundance, it's also love and worth. And it's funny, I did a clearing and then anchoring of presence this morning. And what I got was that my presence is split over 3,000 pieces elsewhere.
Mm.
And so it was a really good reminder to ground and center and anchor every single
Pull
day.
it, pull it in,
Every
pull
single
it
day.
in.
Yeah, every single piece of me, every single day, and to be consistent about that. Um, because presence is incredibly important. And the more of those pieces we carry around with us, that are grounded with us, the easier of a time we will have finding and magnetizing that which we desire in money, love, and all that is.
I pulled a card. Well, I actually pulled two cards just because I was curious about the energies. Um, and the first card I pulled was Garden of Venus, um, rest and renewal. And the second card I pulled it's called the Benefactor, the Divine Benefactor, grace and generosity, which I thought was um, very indicative of. I think I'm now going to call it the money, the divine benefactor. That's what I'm going to call money now.
I
I'm going
love
to call
that.
it my divine benefactor. Um, I like that word. Um, but yeah, the grace that comes in, generosity. There doesn't always have to be, a tit for tat. I owe you, you owe me.
Mhm.
You know, I have this thought sometimes: if money ceased to exist, what would we do? Would you stop? Everyone, would we stop working? Would we, because people say all the time, if they stop paying me, I'd stop coming. And what would you do then? Then what would you do? What would you do instead? Maybe you should go do that all the time. if money
Totally
stopped being
fair.
a if money stopped being a thing, I would stop coming here. Okay, then maybe you should go do that. Yeah. And conducting ourselves ethically without because money is being our guide now, because we have stopped conducting ourselves ethically without it.
Mhm.
So it's a divine responsibility that also wants to come in. How are you conducting yourself without this big brother energy that money has just played the role of? Doesn't need that role, doesn't even really want it, it's just in it. And when we decide that we no longer need it, it will cease to exist. It's the same with politics, I think. I've been shown tons of visions from my past lives in Atlantis where government didn't exist because everybody had this. It was so crazy. Everybody had this psychic level of awareness that they didn't need a government. So like a body of people that like would have been a government were like, they were like researching, like it was used for research,
I can
because
see that
government
being,
just wasn't. Huh?
I can see that being like a council of elders
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, like it just wasn't like they were like government. We don't, because they're all telepathically talking with each other and connected, to where somebody broke the law or whatever, like there's no there's such a level of transparency we probably can't even conceive of right now, that like you just didn't do certain things because you knew that everyone would know, because because you're one, so we all know. And I know that I'm connected to you, and I know that what I'm doing to you, I'm doing to myself, so I don't do it if it's not beneficial. It's like that level of understanding. So they just had no need. So there was a government, and they dismantled it, and they're like, no, they never created the government because it was never necessary. And I'm like, okay, then what did the government do? And they're like, there was no government.
But it's so hard for us to fathom in today's world. It's been there for so long.
But it really was consciousness expanding that there are, very advanced civilizations that never needed a government. And I mean, as well as with all my guides, I have there's like a part of my physical body that I can go to, and then that's where I reach them. Um, in this lifetime, I'm really working on mastering the within. Um, so um, even while we were working with money, I just asked my body to show me where it is within my being, as within, so without. And of course, the money's in the heart. You can find most things there. It's a portal. Um, and there was, healing and clearing that needed to happen um, there as well, because it's just an aspect of creation. Um, and, that all aspects of creation want to be viewed in love and their divinity. I would invite both of us and anybody who watches this to be mindful of your thoughts around money, your own worth, credit, debt, um, and when those feelings, maybe any feeling of lack surfaces, just give that up to the Creator. Um, invite in the violet flame, um, and turn from, notice the thought and turn from it. Um, Just as the embers of a fire are going out, you can watch them flicker, but know that that energy is making its way out, um, and to not give in to everything at face value, for there is a mighty change happening within this system. And as the way showers, holding that knowing in your heart, when any disharmonious feelings or energies come up around your personal relationship with money, um, anchoring into your heart and your knowing that you're divinely provided for in all ways, always.
Brothers.
And so it is. Mm-hmm.